Hello! Here we have another Star Wars Black figure review. This time it's Obi Wan Kenobi from the Revenge of the Sith. Now, the reason I've had this figure for a while, and the reason why I've decided to do a review at this time is that when I pre-ordered the new wave of figures, which is the TIE Pilot, the Clone Trooper repaint, and Yoda, that there is a repack of Obi Wan Kenobi. Now, that's subject to change. But if it is the case, it seemed like an excellent opportunity to do a review of this Obi Wan figure that I've had for a while. So if you look, it's the typical Star Wars black packaging. You've got the Black Series, the image of Obi Wan, which is a fair image. It's probably not one of the better of these Black Series images, but on the bottom you see it says Obi Wan Kenobi. Now, I don't know if when they do the repack, if they're going to change the packaging to have the blue light effect, instead, Death Star lighting effect instead of this orangish red. I just don't know. The packaging is new, so we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen any repacks since the new packaging, so I don't know if they're going to make that change. On the back, you see a nice image of Obi-Wan. And it says, Obi-Wan is forced to battle his friend Anakin Skywalker in a devastating lightsaber duel after Anakin turns to the dark side. And the quote is, "I have failed you, Anakin." So, that's what he looks like in the package. Pretty much standard fare. So let's see what he looks like outside of the package. And here we have Obi-Wan Kenobi out of the package. Now, the face sculpt is not a dead-on likeness to Ewan McGregor. Although, it does look like it has Ewan McGregor's signature mole right there on his forehead. You know, it's a fine head sculpt. The paint application's a little sloppy, especially for the gray temples. If you look, it looks like it was just kind of slapped on there. So not the best head sculpt or paint job. He's wearing a tunic, which, nicely sculpted, nicely detailed. There is weathering on there. We also see that he's got, the bottom of his tunic is soft goods. And then we've got some flexible vinyl here too. So it's a nice combination of materials. It gives a great look. You can see he's wearing a belt. And then his legs and feet. Now the boots have some nice color variation, which would have been nice to see more dramatically throughout the entire figure, but they did a good job on his boots. Articulation is exactly what we've come to expect. The sculpting, the heavy sculpting on his tunic limits his range of motion a little bit in his arms, and he's still really stiff. But the figure is, you know, Star Wars black, twists at the waists. You know, it's just what we've come to expect. Lots of articulation, easy to get him in a bunch of poses. This might be the time to bring up my gripe about Star Wars black figures, and honestly, for the price that you pay, which is $20 to $25 or more, depending on if you're finding them right off the bat or if you have to buy them on secondary market. But for a $20 retail price, you think they could include just a black stand? Because these figures are great to pose, but they have a tendency to want to fall down. When I have them on display, they have a tendency to just fall off the display shelves. And so, I don't know. That's just a small gripe. Anyway, accessory-wise, he has one accessory. His lightsaber with the blue blade. Blade's removable. It's a nice lightsaber sculpt. And he has a spot on his tunic, on his belt, where you can just peg it in. And that's it. So, not a lot of accessories with Obi-Wan. I will say, he is a good looking figure. I think, you know, I love these Star Wars black figures. So, honestly, even the bad ones, I'm still okay with. This isn't one of the bad ones, but I do think that they missed an opportunity or two here. Again, with the price point, you think there could have been at least one more accessory, ideally a Jedi cloak. you know, with Darth Maul for the Sith cloak, what they did was they did an entirely different head sculpt, and you could just switch the heads out so that you could have him cloaked in like a more solid cloak. And I'm wondering if that was an opportunity that they could have done here with Obi-Wan and gave him his a brown cloak, or possibly just have it be a soft goods cloak. I think that would have been a great opportunity. They could also have gone and done an Alec Guinness head sculpt that you could swap out. I mean, you know, the outfits wouldn't be 100% accurate, but I think that would have been a nice thing to include. But overall, it's another good figure in the Star Wars Black line. I will say that if they do a repack on this one, it will be it's a disappointment. I just hate to see repacks. And also, for this particular figure to be a repack, I think that they should do something that's a little bit more popular on the secondary market, or as opposed to doing this one, which seems to be a peg warmer. I haven't had any problems finding him in stores, even from that last wave, or the wave that he was on, which was, I think, 2 waves ago. But, you know, he looks good with the rest of the Star Wars Black figures. As far as height goes, he looks good. He fits right along with him. So, yeah. So with all the, it's another Star Wars Black review. Thank you for watching Fourth Guy in Line, and look forward to more reviews. Thank you so much.